The stock market is blooming in India.
The Nifty is opening 70 points higher. Today we have hit a new all-time high.
The Sensex has hit the 50,000 mark.
India is witnessing the biggest stock market growth in years. But every boom has to be followed by a crash. That's what happens every time. Like what Newton said, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Hey, that's how at least world works, right? Stock market crashes are sadly inevitable. Don't get me wrong, many of you might invest in stock markets. I do too. I'm not saying that the concept of stock market itself is wrong. But the things that I'm going to show you in this video will force you to think from a fresh perspective so that you will be able to make better decisions when you invest your money next time in the stock markets. What are we waiting for? You're watching Logical Wolf. Let's get started.
The Nifty is opening 70 points higher. Today we have hit a new all-time high.
The Sensex has hit the 50,000 mark.
Markets in fine fettle as we speak.
Sensex has climbed the 60,000 peak, its highest ever.
So this is fickle money. This is money that can go out once again.
But are you like me, wondering how are the stock markets constantly soaring when the economy is actually going down?
Everyone knows a crash is gonna happen somehow, someday. But the problem is, no one knows when it's gonna happen. But what if I say, there is a better way to predict what's going to happen? And it's a little complicated. But hey, let's face it. No matter how hard the thing seems to be complicated, they start to make sense when we start understanding the basics. So let's start with the basics first. What are stock markets? Why do they exist? Why do we need them in the first place? Large companies need huge amounts of money for their big projects. An amount of money that no individual owns single-handedly. So through the stock markets, people can invest their money in those companies so that the companies get the funding for their major projects and for their new innovations. And in exchange for that, people get a share in the company's ownership. It means when the company earns good profit in the future, you can get a part of it too. So we are buying a share in the company. But why are we calling it as a stock? Here's why. A stock is nothing but a collection of all shares of a company. And a share is proportion of ownership in a company. If you buy a share of a company, you are part of company's ownership. So basically, buying a share is like becoming a part of that company's family.
I don't have friends. I got family.
But with less commitment, because you can also sell stocks. But for how much? Shares doesn't come with an MRP label on them like the goods we purchase in the markets. So how do we determine their prices? Here comes the most important part. Value or price of a stock. Many people mistakenly take stock price or value as the same. But no, these two are totally different. And it's really important for us to understand the difference between these two. To understand this better, we must differentiate between stock price and stock value. The stock price represents how much the stock trades at, or in other words, the price agreed upon a buyer and a seller. If there are more buyers than sellers, the stock price will climb. If there are more sellers than buyers, the stock price will fall. On the other hand, the stock value is the intrinsic value of a company that depends on its fundamentals, which are the profits of the company, the growth potential of the company, growth potential of the sector in which the company is functioning, and the position of the economy of the country in which it is operating. When stock prices increase very quickly due to high demand which cannot be justified by these fundamentals, the stock market is said to be in a bubble. And if this bubble bursts, a lot of lives may be impacted. In recent times, there have been two big major bubble bursts. The dot-com bubble and 2008 subprime mortgage crisis. The dot-com bubble happened in 2002. This happened in US where the stock market fell almost by 76%. Cisco, Intel and other tech companies' stocks got hit and fell by nearly 86%. This dot-com bubble didn't affect India, so India felt left behind and we did our own scam involving Ketan Parekh and the K10 stocks. When this happened, the market crashed and the Sensex fell by 40%. And of course, the correlation between dot-com bubble and the K10 stock scam can be debated. But hey, I don't want to open the Pandora's box. Now comes the notorious one. 2008 subprime mortgage crisis. This crash is so big that there are two big movies made about this crash, The Big Short and Margin Call. These movies are so beautifully made that they try to cover every aspect of this crash. When you find time, do watch these movies, they are freaking awesome. These ups, downs and bubble bursts in the markets are not actually random. Everything happens in the world happens for a reason, right? Don't believe me? Do you know the fact that India's stock market is on a run and it is outrunning every single country's stock market on the planet? Yes, India's stock market is currently witnessing a boom. There are several reasons for this, but one of the primary reasons is the same one why India's stock market fell in March 2020. COVID-19. The story starts at the beginning of 2020. When COVID-19 started to hit the world and the things are getting worse in China, USA saw this coming and started to prepare its economy against the pandemic and the big economic slowdown. To counter this economic slowdown, the USA started to circulate as much as money possible in its economy. How? By printing money. It printed so heavily, more than 40% of US dollars in existence were printed during that period, to make sure that enough money is in its economy for circulation, so that its economy doesn't take a hit during the economic slowdown due to the pandemic. The USA also kept its interest rates as low as possible. If the interest was low, people take more loans and keep their business growing. These loans are meant to save the businesses from the loss that is due to COVID-19. If the businesses won't get affected, the employment won't fall, nor the economy. The plan was so good, but unfortunately, things didn't went how they planned. According to the US plan, the businessmen were so happy as they are getting cheap loans at interest as low as 0.25%. But the investors are not so happy because the inflation itself is at 2.4%. Now you tell me, if you are a US citizen, do you keep your money in the US for such a low interest which cannot even beat the rate of inflation? No, right? The same happened. The investors took the money from US and started investing in developing countries. And one of those developing economies is India. This is the main reason why India recorded billions of dollars inflow in 2021, which are greater than the last 6 years combined. Investments are made not only in stock markets but also in Indian startups, which is why India is witnessing huge bloom of new startups. And many existing startups and businesses are giving IPOs and opening to trade it publicly. The amount of inflows into global equity funds in last 6 months is greater than the total inflows of the last decade. This clearly shows how aggressively US investors are investing in developing economies. These aggressive investments in our stocks creating a huge demand for stocks, and this is one primary reason why Indian stock market prices are rising so high irrespective of their business and fundamentals. Coming to the rise and fall of prices in the market, there are two main terms: the bull and the bear. A bear always tries to knock something down to the ground, which is why when a stock market is on the fall, it is called bear time. On the other hand, a bull always tries to lift up, which is why when the markets are on the rise, it is called a bull market. Lifting up is good, but when the stock prices increases very quickly due to the high demand, which cannot be justified with the fundamentals, as I said before, the market is said to be in a bubble. But the question is, are we in a bubble? Many experts have raised their concerns over the possibility of a global stock market bubble. RBI in its annual report noted that there is an increase in stock market. While the economy is not performing so great, poses a risk of a bubble. But how do we judge a stock is overvalued or not? Here comes PE ratio. The price to earning ratio is a ratio used to judge the value of the stocks. This is a quite complicated concept that needs an entirely separate video to explain PE ratio in detail. But I'll try to explain as simple as possible. The price per earnings ratio, in other words, PE ratio, simply compares the stock price to the company's earnings or profits. The higher the PE ratio, the overvalued the company's stock is. When comparing two companies' stocks, the one with the low PE ratio will be better value for money. Currently, we are standing at a historic levels of PE ratio. The year 2007 to 2008 witnessed a huge bull run in past. Then, the Sensex PE ratio stood at 22. Right now, in 2021, Sensex PE ratio stood at its all-time high of 31.53. In other words, currently, we are buying the stocks at overvalued prices, which is always not a good idea to invest during the peak of a bull run. Because when you do, you are not only buying stocks at overvalued prices, but also if the stock market crashes, it would take years or decades to reap the benefits out of your investment. So with this, we can conclude that this is not a great time to invest in stocks. But don't get me wrong, I'm not telling that you don't get benefits at all when you invest now. You can always get huge benefits if you invest wisely, but it can be quite risky at the same time due to a lot of factors. For example, dumb money. What is dumb money? India witnessed a record-breaking rise in opening of new Demat accounts last year. This means a lot of first-time investors invested in stock market. The money that came from these first-time investors into the stock market is called dumb money, as these first-time investors are the people who never saw a bear market. The moment the bear hits and stock falls, these people are first to be in panic and to take out their money from the stocks, which will in turn have a ripple effect on stock prices. The other major risk is our dependency on US. A lot of investment came from US investors. We need to monitor developments in US economy very carefully, because when these US investors take out their money from Indian stock market to reinvest their money in USA, if the interest rates go up there, it can also in turn lead to a bear market. In addition to this, there are several other factors one should be looking while investing their money in stock markets, like social media effect, network effect, herd mentality, psychology of people, many more other factors which play a huge role in stock markets. I'll be explaining these in detail in my upcoming videos, which enable you to take more wise decisions when you invest your money in the stock market next time. So why don't you hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for those upcoming awesome videos. That's it for now. See you in the next one. Till then, stay curious, stay logical. Peace.